Finally, episode 51, and we got the Western Conference at 2-1. Eastern Conference now at 2-2. I'm liking it.
Oh, no, he didn't.
J.R. Smith. We just saw a man fly.
Oh! I'm leaving the building. I quit my job. I've never seen anything like that. And furthermore, don't bring that weak stuff in here.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
Jerry,
Playoffs?
are finally getting excited, my friend. And I don't know if those watching on YouTube, they can see the attire you're wearing. And you're a man who plays injured. It's got to be playoffs, right?
It's players. It's playoffs.
playoffs?
You better believe it's playoffs. You think I'm going to play with a hurt hand in not playoffs?
I'm just glad it's
Actually,
not.
I would have played. I played 3 weeks ago.
All right, so regular season injury.
Yeah,
You're
regular
fine.
season
You're
injury.
fine.
I'm fine. It's just it's a little wear and tears.
All right, so you got one title under your belt. What's tonight? I know you're going for another title.
Yeah. No, tonight we're actually just in the regular bracket. Last night we won a title with my other team, so we're done there. We're actually now we're competing for a title on this team. First round though.
Those of you who just listen on the podcast, I mean, you can't. You obviously don't know what we look like. On YouTube, you can see Jerry is the in shape, constantly without sleeves,
Masturbating.
Yeah.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No. What was trying to keep it as a G-rated show. And then me, I'm just a fat piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, come on.
I just roll the mics and let's go.
Yeah, you're the host, the personality of this place.
Oh, thank you, Jerry.
You say the playoffs are getting exciting.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
say they're
Oh,
getting
hell yeah.
not exciting. We just let DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry look like the two best. Like we made that front court look like the best, or the back court look like the best backcourt in all of basketball. Like DeMar DeRozan couldn't be stopped last night, and I feel like Tyronn Lue just really fucked up when they had him mic'd up last night, and he kept saying, "Come on, 1-on-1 D, come on, play that 1-on-1 D," and it was like, no, dude, because Kyrie's getting torched, and then anybody that's getting on DeRozan, it was like he could drive in and be hacked by all three people and was still hitting the shot as well as having then the free throw. He was the only person for shooting free throws. I think he was the only person that shot free throws the entire night. He was like 10 for 11.
I've been watching that game, and like I gave the Raptors so much disrespect when Mark was on last episode. I didn't even know it was game freaking 2. I thought the series was already over.
I know.
And all of a sudden, here we are.
all did.
Here we are on Tuesday. It's tied 2-2.
Stupid.
And we have a lot more questions than answers, don't we?
Yeah. My question is, here's a big thing: is Kevin Love? It truly, their winning depends a lot on him. Because LeBron, we know night in and night out, he's going to come in and he's going to almost get a triple-double every single night. Kyrie has been damn consistent all playoffs other than the Game 3. Game 3, he was 3 for 18. Shitty night out of him. Kevin Love now has struggled for 2 straight games, and he's shooting less than 25% in those 2 straight games. And last night, he only shot a few threes, so he was missing inside shots that he should be making. And that's the man that's, we're going to live and die by Kevin Love shooting 15 to 20 shots a game. Got to be making more than 25%, brother. Like, you can't, you're sinking the ship alone.
Yeah, 13 points in the last 2 are up in Canada is not going to cut it.
No, 13 points, and you shot, what did he shoot, 30 times?
He had 14 shots last game, 9 shots the game before. He has gone a total of 3 for 11 in the 3-point category. And the main 3-point gunner for the Cavs.
3 for 11, that's not bad. Like, I'm okay with that. That stat doesn't hurt me. What's hurting me, that means, is that he is 1 for 16 and the other, like, in the rest. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
where's your game at?
You're
and
right.
then we know defensively he's not there.
No, defensively, like you said, here's what I'm so scared about, Jerry, watching the Cavs play. Like, the Raptors, you don't have to guard. What would it
3
be?
players.
You don't have to guard outside 24 feet.
No.
And here you're letting DeMar DeRozan, the king of like the 15-footer, You're letting him get to every spot he wanted last night. The last 2 games in Toronto, he's gotten to every single spot he wanted to.
I know.
Guess who you're going to have to play next round? Kevin Durant, who can get to any spot he wants to, or Klay Thompson's not necessarily a guy who's going to sit at the elbow and get shots, but he's a guy who's capable of just getting into that area and shooting over anybody.
Yeah.
There's no defense from the Cavs. It has seriously looked like a coaching fallacy from what I can tell.
I don't. Tyronn Lue for some reason is playing this one-on-one like ball right now, and he was kind of went away from all right, let's share the shit out of the ball until someone sees an open shot. Let's play some, and then he kept saying one-on-one D, boys, one-on-one D, and I was like, what the fuck kind of defensive scheme is that? One-on-one D, you jackass! You have 2 of the worst defenders, 2 at their positions on your team. And they're only good because they're, offensive greats. Why in the hell are you trying to do a one-on-one when the 2 best players are? Kyrie's getting smoked by Lowry, absolutely smoked. It's like he's not even on there. Did you see the game? The final shot last night?
Oh yeah.
It was like there was nobody even. There was no big men even around. Which it was so. Biombo, or what the hell's his name?
Bismack Biyombo.
Biyombo is so
Had you heard that name before last night?
No, but until 2 nights ago. But and so he's standing out at the 3. Why in the fuck is our big men out there with him? So then it was a wide open layup that Kyle Lowry has, and there wasn't a transition. It was just where in the fuck is our defense? What are they doing? You think Biombo's gonna hit an outside shot? Where are you? Where is everybody?
Bismack Biyombo has stepped up like no one else. That's what I love. That's what I love about the playoffs.
I call him Bismol because he's making me take Pepto-Bismol.
Dude, Bismack Biyombo is gonna get paid.
I'm gonna call him Dismal because he's making my life dismal.
Biyombo the way. I don't know how to make a pun out of his name, but Biyombo, Jesus man,
I'm gonna Biyombo. I can't think.
Dele come and Biyombo want to go home,
That's not bad. All right.
No, not bad.
Not
the
great.
Bismarcky?
Yeah. There we go.
So the guy looks I don't know kind of like an alien. He's got some bug eyes and
he does look like an alien, but
his eyes are way too big for his head.
That alien packed the shit out of Kevin Love twice last night and packed LeBron hard once.
I got home right before halftime yesterday. I turned on the TV expecting kind of a blowout, and I turned on the TV to Bismack blocking the shit out of LeBron.
I know.
It got me excited for some playoff basketball. I was
bad.
oh, wow, there's going to be a game tonight.
It was after the game's over, I'm check social media. And then it's the first thing I check is Barstool Sports. It's just showing LeBron getting fucking packed city. And I was oh, God.
Tyronn Lue played him the entire fourth quarter in Game 4. Did you... I thought the Cavs were going to get it, but a tired LeBron is a sloppier LeBron.
Yeah, it wasn't LeBron's fault at the end of the game. He did what he did, but what was weird was that at the end of the game he was he was so afraid to shoot the 3 that they were letting him hardcore. They even let him step up, and he faked, and then he just kind of dribbled back and then drove in. But he's right now he's got to get his 3-point shot, getting at least so you're kind of confident. Because last night he had no confidence in it, and he just wouldn't trust it. So it was whenever he was even near the perimeter, everyone would step off 6 feet by it. And I was oh, shit, dude. And this is bad that he's not shooting that. that's how, inconfident, is that word? No. Is it?
It makes enough sense. We've said it. We've said enough
unconfident,
irregular English that it shouldn't matter. Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence.
I don't think I don't know what the hell
he wasn't confident. Pussy. He was being a pussy. That's what he was doing.
We'll move on to something else, Jerry, because we got to get you out of here, and we want to break it down to the Western Conference. Guys, before we go to the Western Conference, this is going to be a kind of a quick podcast, so hopefully you guys kind of get our opinions on the latest 2 games. I want to go to the Western Conference. Before we let's talk on some thoughts from LeBron's press conference from Game 4.
Yes.
It wasn't enough because we got off to a horrible first half once again in this building, and you're playing catch up the whole game. So every defensive possession feels even more intensified when you've given up so many points in the first half. I think they've averaged 58 or something like that in the first half here, and in the high 30s in the second half. So it gets a little bit more intensified, but it just goes back to the first half. We're not starting off games the right way. The second quarter has been really bad for us here. So we got to do a better job of that where we can't dig ourselves such a big hole. And now, every possession feels even more intensified, late in the game.
Saying that same.
Jared, I picked that clip because he kind of touches on the slow start that they've had in Canada. And I think that's a team's mentality. That's a team's fault because the team doesn't respect their opponent. I mean, they just blew them out for 2 games.
Correct. They're not respecting them. And I feel like that's really what it is game 3, they were like, fuck it. Like, we'll go in here. They got destroyed, but they're like, that was an anomaly. We're not going to lose game 4. Still had no respect. Then it was like by the end of the game 4, they're like, all right, we need to play. Because did you see at one point the Cavs were 11-11 in the fourth quarter?
Oh, yeah.
But then
that's when I thought it was going to be over.
I know, me too. But then at the same time, DeMar DeRozan was like 11-11 by himself. And I was like, why the fuck isn't anybody covering this man? Like, why are we not double teaming him? Why are we letting him like just absolutely own the entire Cavaliers right now? And we're playing this one-on-one weird-ass defense.
Yeah, it's like... Jared, the rest of the series, I think it's going to be a slaughter in Cleveland, and I think they wrap it up in a tight game 6. So I'm predicting that. I don't think we see a game 7.
Yeah, I think they come out very, very aggressive in game 5. I mean, obviously they're going to be pissed. They're going to play. They got to play physical. They got to play like what they were doing, be more handsy like they were in the first few games. Because that's all Toronto was last night too. Was just getting their hands in everything. So it was, instead of Tristan Thompson coming down with an offensive board, it was like, hey, when he comes down with that board, have someone stand in front of him and just bat it down when he comes down with it. That's it. And they did that so many times last night because he still was doing his offensive animal rebounding. But then it was like, little Kyle Lowry would be standing there, and when he brings it down to his waist-side, would just be, as soon as he turns around, just bat it down. And it was like, that's fine. Let him get the offensive rebounds. He's great at it. Make sure we don't let him go back up with it. And that's what they were doing, and they were just killing him.
I got more stuff to talk about. Good. Tristan Thompson, you got paid, brother. Like, defend the paint.
Yeah, no kidding. He wasn't
why can't you defend the paint?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. They didn't. The last third quarter and fourth quarter, Channing Frye played most of those minutes. Like Tristan was barely in it, just because they were trying to play catch up. Exactly what LeBron's saying. You're trying to play catch up, and then we know that Tristan Thompson is not the offensive beacon that anybody is. Really, he's a a hinder offensively, and we know Channing Frye has been amazing offensively, so that's what they were trying to do. And he was good last night too. Channing Frye was 4 for 8 from the 3-point land, like shooting 50% from threes. And you know what? He was at one point he was 4 for 5, and then he missed the remaining threes. So at one point he was getting them back in it, and that's what they did. They said, all right, we'll keep the hot hand out there. We'll keep the offensive, because there was nobody else doing anything offensively. So like Kevin Love has just looked like hot, steamy garbage on both ends of the floor the last 2 games. Kyrie finally last night offensively looked good. The night before he didn't, but defensively he's just been destroyed. And he needs to kind of pick that up because next round you're going to be playing against the number 1 and the number 2 best point guards in the league. Like you're number 3, Kyrie. I'm sorry to say you're the 3rd best. But
if that.
But so. I'll say offensively he's definitely 3rd best.
Yeah, 3rd.
But I mean overall now you're playing against the best scorer in the league. And Steph Curry, and then maybe even like a guy that's right on Steph Curry's heels is Russell Westbrook.
Definitely the most athletic guard in the league.
Athletic guard. So like, boy, you better fucking tighten your ass up. You better tighten those shoelaces and try to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I expect them to get out of here. I don't know what kind of team. I don't like the defense. If you can't defend under the 3-point line, what makes you think you're going to defend outside of it?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
That's a little bit of a scary notion. On to the West. I'm excited, Jerry. Jesus Christ, I did not see OKC going up 2-1. I did not see a huge blowout going. We did talk about Steven Adams last time. I did not know Steven Adams' nuts were going to be the topic of conversation in between that time frame.
Hey, we talked about him having 18 siblings. I think probably Draymond Green was making sure that he is not like his father and doesn't have 18 of them.
No. It was the kick was dirty.
It was dirty.
It was
super dirty. Did they suspend him or anything?
They did not. They did not just suspend him. It came out this afternoon. A $25,000 fine. A drop in the bucket.
that's like telling me like, hey, you owe $5. I'm like, yeah, all right.
It just lets you know that some people are important, and I'll never forget a couple years ago when Zach Randolph got suspended for Game 7, how it kind of ruined Memphis's chances to get over OKC. And I don't know why that's a sticking point in my brain, but I'll just never forget that. I'll be like, why doesn't Zach Randolph? It was twice. If some of you listeners can kind of look at that play, you'll see that what Draymond Green did was far dirtier than what Randolph did.
Absolutely,
to get suspended.
it was.
And so, the Warriors. I get it. I get it. As a fan, I don't want them suspended.
No,
I mean,
as overall, like you for basketball, you can't have one of the best players on the court suspended for a game.
No.
Like if that was anybody else, if that was Harrison Barnes, out of here.
Yeah.
Pretty much anybody besides Tristan. Clay, not Tristan. Clay, Steph, and Draymond are the only three that are able to get away with
Bogut's
ridiculous.
Done. Bogut's done.
He's out.
Festus is done.
Everybody else is out.
Yeah,
You're going to suspend anybody else that does that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jerry, I like OKC's chances really good tonight. Tonight we're recording on a Tuesday. Tuesday, but prior to Game 4, I really like OKC's chances.
I do too,
I think they're going to win tonight.
I do want to say something is that Golden State was down 2-1 in last year's NBA Finals against Cavaliers. They came back and they
an
won.
offensiveless.
They can't. Yeah,
they couldn't fight. They had nothing. They couldn't fight.
They came back and they won 3 straight, and then they were actually down 2-1 in the second round versus Memphis.
It was Memphis, yeah. Again, another team that couldn't score.
So
you're playing against the second best I want to say the second best offense in the league.
Yeah, they got to be up there,
and maybe the first of the playoffs.
So, but they came back in that same thing and won 3. They won both of those series in 6 games. So it's very telling. I mean, tonight's obviously they have to. It's a must win. They can't. They lose. Show's over. You're not fucking winning 3 straight.
Yeah, you can't give Westbrook and Durant confidence going into that.
No.
I think regardless of the series, is Durant staying?
I don't know. No.
I think so, man. I really think Billy Donovan's a good coach. I mean,
I do too. But
if you came back and did that to the defending world champions, who Steph Curry doesn't look hurt to me. I mean, he looks like a guy who's out there playing as hard as he can, and you just mopped the floor with him.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, I wouldn't leave, but I'm not him. I don't know the scenario, and if he does, like. I don't know. What is he looking for out of his career? Is he looking for rings? Is he looking for, like we talked about it last week, Mark had his really poor like examples of why he wouldn't or would leave or whatever. But like, I mean, to be honest, I would go east and say, let's see what kind of damage I could do over there. So I'd be like, fuck it, regardless of what happens. Either way, I think you got to make up your mind. You can't play it on your team and be like, hey, if we do some good things this year, I'll stay. Like that's shitty. So it's either you say, yes, I'm going no matter what happens, or no, I'm going. You can't be the guy that's on the fence. It's like, we're not good enough to win a championship, so I'm out of here. It's got to be, because it's on you. You're the one that's winning the championship.
Yeah, he's got to win it, and he definitely, they look scary, man. They look scary good. And, like, I mean, obviously, I think anybody out of the West is going to be the favorite, but I don't even know how, if Cleveland's having so much trouble with Lowry and DeRozan all of a sudden.
That's what I said. The front
I don't get it. What the hell happened?
Like you're gonna have to play against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook or a Klay Thompson or Steph Curry. Like those 2 front courts, and you're letting Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan get at you.
And you're about to play the white Bismack Biyombo. And Steven Adams.
Bismal.
I don't know how they have the hardest hustling white guy in the NBA, and the hardest hustling other guy on the same team. I mean, both those guys. There's not a harder worker center than Steven Adams in the playoffs so far.
You're not kidding, boy.
I mean, Bismack obviously wants he's getting paid.
Yeah.
He's just going to replay the. I think at the end of the Raptors game, I know you're not going to like this, but they were chanting MVP for him when he was at the free throw line. That last, I don't know if you made it to the final shot.
Yeah, I did.
So you could barely hear it on the TV. I could hear him say MVP. MVP. I'm like, God, that's got to be the coolest feeling in the world. Like, you're a bench player last week.
Yeah.
You were probably getting 10 minutes this game if Valanciunas was healthy.
Not even that. He was probably averaging less than that, I would guess, last series.
Yeah. Well, guys, we just want to get a quick one in for you. We have thoroughly enjoyed talking NBA all year long. I think going into next year, we're gonna try to make a more patterned show for you guys. You know, we kind of faltered this a little bit this year, but Jerry, I'm looking for some big things next year.
I am too, and I think we're gonna fix up our studio. We're gonna have a little bar in the corner. We got a new table in here. I see.
Something gets added to this. Frank's still under the table from last week.
We need to. I would like that. Have like a bar, serve drinks. You know, it's a party every time we have a show. You
Yeah.
know, something like that. Like how Howard Stern does. Like have girls shooting like ping pong balls out of their vaginas.
Yeah, the Sabian. Have the Sabian in the corner. We got a good spot for the Sabian.
We got a great spot.
You know?
And YouTube listeners would like a lot more because I don't think they probably like us just sitting. Like I thought about it last time. I was like, maybe we should just like do the whole podcast like this. Like,
oh, just a little bit of movement to it.
yeah, just a little bit of movement. Be like, well, what I think about that one is that we're gonna have to talk about and just do that. Like, so people that are on, even if you're tripping, you're like, that's kind of cool. Like, look at this weird trippy video.
I'm just afraid to do that. I got like a bike U-log of fat just underneath my arm. Like when I squeeze it down, like there's a visible U.
Oh god!
It just goes around
Yeah,
like a
I know
little.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
I mean, I mean, I
You
don't
can
know
visualize
personally,
it on
but I
a
can
fat
visualize-
person,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah. I saw a guy ride by the other day, and he had he was on a bicycle, and I like in my head, I was like, "Good lord, boy! Like this guy needs to know like how awful he looks riding with like because he was jiggling around, and like then it was worse in the back. Was like his like that U that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
was like really dominant in the back, and it was like almost like back titties. Like I was thinking in my head, like I bet you that man could wear a bra comfortably on his back and like it would hold like those like things in place. So I kind of got turned on and I took a video.
You like that?
Jared, I think that's a good place to stop. Guys, we're gonna be next. I think Todd's gonna join us next week.
Maybe he says that, but we know he's a father now, and his wife made him go to Costco today.
Yeah. So going to Costco over going to the now filled with all kinds of shit studio.
She could come in here and shop.
Yeah, yeah, she could. She could. We got all kinds of things for the baby.
I like that it's like that's the excuse. It's like, hey, I'm gonna run out for 30 minutes to do my podcast. She's like, you promised me Costco tonight. And it's like, what? Like, what is Costco an all night event? Like, you go there for like 6 or 7 hours.
If they
like,
got good free samples, that they would do. I actually
Yeah,
have
maybe.
I actually have a joke about all this.
Do you?
Yes. I have to tell it to you off mic.
Okay.
We know how jokes on air work.
we have heard them. Save it for next week, and we'll juice it up for next week.
All right, well, a little tease for you listeners next week. Again, thank you for listening to us. If you're on Twitter, retweet the shows. I know a lot of people don't like to put a personal like, hey, I'm listening to this on Facebook. Do us a favor and do it on Twitter. Any kind of information helps us. So any kind of thing to get our word and our message out. So thank you, listeners, for listening to us. Good luck to you, Jerry, tonight. Best of luck to Cooper Bruce, Helfer, and
Yes, sir.
hopefully we see Todd next week. And we have a lot of excitement to talk about.
Yeah, we do next week. I mean,
Again,
there could be 2 series wrapped up by next week.
and hopefully I got a couple of interviews lined up with experts from those finals teams. So you're going to hear an interview hopefully with us and a writer from each team.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it. All right, good deal. That was good. Quick show.